This story happened a long time ago, but it left such an impression on me that I can still replay every detail in my head like it was yesterday. It started in April, after a long winter of research. I had joined a mushroom forum and devoured every single tip about growing magic mushrooms. My first attempt years earlier was a disaster. A tray of yellowish green sludge that smelled like a gym sock, but this time felt different. I had a spore print in hand, I'd done the homework, and I was determined to do it right. Weeks passed. My patience paid off. By late spring, I had my very own homegrown mushrooms drying in the food dehydrator. And with them came a plan, though at the time even I didn't fully understand why I felt the need to grow them myself. Maybe I thought it would add spiritual weight to the experience. Or maybe I just needed a sense of ownership. Either way, the day arrived. That night wasn't meant to be the night. I was bored, my wife was asleep, and I was chatting with some online friends. Offhandedly, I told them I was thinking about trying my mushrooms. I didn't have a scale, so I showed them a picture of the dose I had in mind. They immediately told me to cut it in half, advice that probably saved me. So I made a purple slushy, mixed in the ground mushrooms, and gulped it down. Then I typed into the chat, "It's done. Taking a shower. I'll be back when it hits." And oh, did it hit. 5 minutes into the shower, I felt my consciousness trying to leave my body. It was like my soul was being tugged upward, and I was holding on with everything I had. My feet looked impossibly far away. The walls breathed. The water turned alien. It was undeniable. The mushrooms were kicking in. I stumbled upstairs, squinting into the bright kitchen light when my black cat darted down into the basement. Instinct kicked in. I had to get him back. But before I could, a second cat dashed past me, then a third. Suddenly, I was in a full-blown cat crisis. Picture this, I'm tripping harder by the second. The kitchen floor shimmering like liquid, time stretching into eternity. And I'm trying to wrangle 5 cats that seem to have formed a coalition against me. I managed to scoop up 2, but halfway up the stairs, the others blocked the doorway like they'd planned it all along. I laughed hysterically, dropped the cats I was holding, and sat there watching my pets bounce down the stairs like furry pinballs. But the laughter didn't last. My brain locked onto one mission: get the cats out of the basement. That was my entire purpose in life. So I devised a plan. I'd carry them one by one, counting each as I went. Easy, right? Wrong. By the 4th cat, I couldn't remember if it was number 3 or number 5. The numbers blurred together. I'd go back downstairs to count, only to find the door still wide open, and the entire herd racing back down like a jailbreak. Plan A failed. So I invented Plan B, names. I'd count them by name instead of number. Brilliant. Except, have you ever tried remembering names while your walls are melting? It's impossible. Meanwhile, every trip up and down the stairs felt like hours. I was sweating, confused, convinced that maybe some cats had escaped outside. My wife was going to kill me if I lost them. The panic was real. Finally, after what felt like a lifetime, I realized they were all still there, safe, watching me unravel. But I was broken. My brain could no longer handle the simple act of counting to 5. I couldn't do it. So I did the only thing left. I needed an adult. At 3 a.m., I stormed into the bedroom, jumped on the bed, and yelled, "Help!" I took mushrooms. 5 cats in the basement, and I can only count to 4. My wife, bleary-eyed and unimpressed, followed me to the kitchen. I thought salvation had arrived. She looked at the basement, then at me, and said the cruelest words possible. "Well, go get 'em." I nearly cried, but under her watchful eye, I trudged back into hell. Each time I brought up a cat, she counted for me like I was a toddler. 1, 2. By the 3rd, I was making pitiful noises. By the 5th, I was destroyed. Finally, it was done. The cats were upstairs. My wife shook her head, muttered something about, "We'll talk in the morning," and went back to bed. I collapsed on the couch, utterly exhausted. The trip was far from over, but the war with the cats was done. And I learned 2 very valuable lessons that night. 1, mushrooms don't just bend time and space, they break your ability to count. And 2, never, ever try to outsmart 5 cats while you're on them.